Kia ora koutou. Welcome to the ACE RMO 2025 Taranaki Region webinar. My name is Sam and I am the ACE RMO consultant. Today we're going to start off with a opening karakia by Tumanako, and then I will give everyone a brief outline of today's schedule for the webinar.
Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga, kia mākina kina ki uta, kia mātaratara ki tai, e hi ake ana te ātākura, he huka, he tio, he hauhu, ti hei, mauri ora.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And thanks to everyone for taking the time to join today's webinar. We'll move into the panelist introduction shortly, but just to give you a brief outline of what you can expect today and enjoy is we will have a video and a presentation that we will share with you all. The presentation will be presented by our wonderful panelists and RMO representatives, and they will just tell you a little bit more about their experience working at the hospital. Towards the end of the session, there will be a live Q&A session, and then we will finally close off with a closing karakia. So just a reminder to all our participants, please don't hold back. Now's a perfect opportunity to ask your burning questions, and you can do that by dropping them in the Q&A box, which you should see above your screen. Just to note, though, that these questions will be answered towards the end of the session.
Kia ora tātou, hiri tēnei nō te aroa. My name's Tumanako. I'm currently a PGY1 house officer on my surgical run based in Taranaki, but I originate from Rotorua. Lara is also going to be joining us soon, but we're having a very busy day on surgery, so she'll come when she has her kōrero.
Kia ora, ko Jonathan Albert Takawenga. I'm Director of Clinical Training in Taranaki, and I'm also on call for ICU, so hopefully between all of us, we'll have people in the room the whole time. Thanks for joining us today.
Kia ora, I'm Taryn, and I look after the RMO's education.
Hi team, sorry for being late.
Kia ora everyone, I'm Abby. I'm the RMO Unit Support Manager for Taranaki.
We're proud to provide health services to a population of around 130,000 residents from a wide range of cultural backgrounds and all walks of life, living in a mix of urban and rural communities. Our team of more than 2,500 medical professionals work from Taranaki Base Hospital, our hospital in Hawera, and a network of community health centres, as well as mobile dental clinics and surgery units. We're also part of the Te Manawataki Regional Network of hospitals and health providers, stretching across the central North Island. In South Taranaki, our sun-filled Hawera Hospital offers a comprehensive primary and secondary health service, including a GP clinic, acute clinic, primary care birthing unit, community mental health, a 24-hour emergency department, inpatient beds with en-suites, radiology and laboratory departments, outpatients, district nursing, and a purpose-built dental unit. The on-site allied team works collaboratively with patients as inpatients and in the community. Hawera is also the South Taranaki base for the mobile surgical unit. Visiting the region on a monthly basis, the unit offers both adult and paediatric surgery, with a strong focus on dental procedures. Stage 1 of Project Maunga, the redevelopment of Taranaki Base Hospital, has been completed with the purpose-built acute services building housing our new paediatric and surgical wards, as well as our wards dedicated to general medicine and older people's health. We've also recently opened Te Huhiropu, our new renal building, with 10 treatment rooms plus training and consultation rooms. The design showcases key sustainability features that qualify it for net zero energy certification, including reduced energy consumption and solar panels. Currently, with more than 200 inpatient beds at Taranaki Base Hospital and 15 in Hawera Hospital, we are now embarking on Stage 2 of Project Maunga to build the new East Wing building. Opening in late 2025, this 6-floor, 20,000 square metre facility will be home to many of our acute clinical services, such as the emergency department and intensive care unit. It will also be home to a full suite of maternity services and our radiology and laboratory services. Topped off with a rooftop helipad, complete with departure lounge for emergency transfers in and out of the hospital, the new East Wing building will be the first 5-star Green Star certified medical facility in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We've also started the building preparation for a new purpose-built cancer centre at Taranaki Base Hospital. This will house a new linear accelerator, a LINAC, and bring all related oncology outpatient services under one roof. Chemotherapy patients will receive their treatment sessions in a new 12-chair department. The centre will mean 70 to 80% of Taranaki cancer patients requiring radiotherapy will be able to have the majority of their treatment provided locally. Within our continually improving ward and health facilities, our team enjoy a hard-working, collegiate, professional environment that's also highly social. There is plenty of opportunity to have fun with various awareness days and staff initiatives. Together, we are part of Te Whatu Ora, Health New Zealand, a national team of medical professionals more than 80,000 strong, dedicated to providing an equitable and accessible health service for all New Zealanders.
So we'll go through these slides. Taranaki, I mean, I've been living here for 15 years. I'm not planning to live anywhere else. I love it here. I grew up in Auckland, and I really like the change from being in a city, working in big hospitals, to working in a more provincial town. But it's less formal than it is, and we have closer relationships as staff. We know each other better than we do in bigger hospitals with anonymous teams. And there's lots of outdoor activities for people to do. And surprisingly, we have really good restaurants and food. So I think people think we don't have that, but the food, and there's lots of things to do that are quite interesting. And being out of the way, I think we're a region that we make our own fun. Whereas if you go to Hamilton, you have to drive to the fun. No offense to people from Hamilton, but here we have to just make it all work for ourselves. I also lived in Hamilton for a long time. We try to be really fair how we do the ACE. For us, the most important thing is that people write a cover letter that says words Taranaki and New Plymouth and doesn't say Palmerston North. That's you get a negative mark if you write Palmerston North. And they've looked into our area. There's reasons that they would enjoy living here. We think being a PGY 1 is stressful, so we want to be selecting people that really want to be here, that when they go home, they've got fun things they like to do, ways they can decompress and reduce stress. And we can also see them just living here long term, perhaps being interested in careers that we need for our region. So we're really hoping to attract people that come here, love it here, want to do things that are relevant to our region. So we're always really looking for people that are interested in specialties like general practice, rural health, psychiatry, just things that our region needs, in the hope that every third person or so that comes here will stay here long term. We have points for other things such as we have a real deficit of Maori doctors compared to Maori population. So we're going to give people higher ranks if they're Maori. And people that have been here, worked here, visited here, made contact with us, people that we can see just wanting to be in this region long term. We look at things like references and grades, but we don't, if someone was to have grades where they had a bad year at university, and if they wrote, I had this bad year at university, but this is what I learned from it, and this is how I've grown as a person, we would never look negatively at that. We don't have rules like you must have straight A's to come here or things like that. We're more interested in the people and who's going to be a good fit here. What can we do in PGY 1? So everybody does medicine and surgery, and when you only do nights after you've done your medical run. And I think you only do nights when you're in a surgical run.
Yeah.
So half of our first years won't do nights in their first 6 months. Is that right? So you can get quite lucky. So if you're smart, you volunteer for surgery first if you don't like nights like me. We have lots of really good options in year 2. Emergency medicine is really well thought of. And we have a wide range of community-based attachments that are actually good, useful, meaningful. You get a lot out of them. And we're quite proud of our community-based attachments. And it fits with our strategy of trying to recruit and retain doctors that want to work in the community as well as in the hospital setting. So I do critical care and anaesthesia. I'm not looking to select people that want to do those specialties. I want to select the people that my region needs rather than my personal specialty. There's an RMO room, which is, what's the day called like these days?
That's good for nights.
Yeah,
It's
Mix of 70s vibe. And but there is private space, and I think things like access to food and access to reimbursements and all those things we're quite reasonable. You could live on site if you wanted to. I'm not sure why you would want to, but if you did want to, that'd be fine, especially if you just wanted to start out there while you look for a house. And what's it cost to rent here, guys?
Too much.
No, it's good.
On the hostel.
Oh, the hostel's pretty good.
Or like
and then
around.
rent's a lot cheaper than the bigger centres as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm a little bit out of touch with the regional. Let's go right to the source. And we have teaching that we try to put a lot of effort into, and we rotate it to try to get as many interns through it as possible. And in year 2, there's really good teaching programs for specialties that our interns can attend, and we actually support people to do a lot of educational activities. So if you can write us a career plan and you're in PGY2 and you want to go to a couple of courses, you want to do a diploma, we will fund that. We won't fight you too hard on it as long as it's not in New York City or Harvard University or something that we can afford. But we do like to invest in our second years in particular to really kickstart their careers.
Hi guys, I'm Lara. I apologise for being late. I guess to know what it's like as a PGY1, it's important to know where we come from and a bit of background about ourselves. And so I'm actually born and bred in Taranaki in a small town called Hawera. And my dad and mum are in a GP practice here in Eltham. And I came here with my partner because I was keen to be around family more, especially with the big changes that come along with working. And then, yeah. Did you want to?
Yeah. As I was saying before, I was born in Rotorua, but my brother, who's actually an ED reg here, we both moved over to Taranaki. So I come down from Auckland, not by choice. It was just because Otago was a bit too far away from my whānau. So when I came down from Auckland Uni for my final year of med school, which I spent here, then my brother came over from Rotorua, in which he was working as a house officer then. And we kind of met up, and now we live together. And I brought my partner and he brought his wife and kids, so now it's big whānau whare, and we're just having a dandy old time and what's
Across the road.
across the road.
Yeah, true. I studied in Otago, so it's so I guess we're coming from 2 different points there. Not a lot of people this year from Otago, but we do have a good mix of people from all of the campuses as well. So it's important to keep.
Yeah, and we don't prioritise Auckland over Otago or those sort of things.
No.
So it's different year to year.
Yeah. And it's been a fantastic year as well. I think we're so lucky here in Taranaki. If from a work perspective, the colleagues are great, and the person who you tend to rely quite a lot on is your registrar, and all the registrars are fantastic. And even though there's a high turnover with registrars coming from bigger centres, I feel like they chill out pretty quickly once they get to Taranaki and realise the ocean's calm and the moon is there, and everyone just kind of finds their zen pretty quickly. The house officers are great. I mean, and we have great relationships with all the houses. The Kai is great. And I think one of the most outstanding things has probably been the RMO unit, who's the team that looks after you behind the scenes, takes care of your rostering, your sick days and your annual leave. And I'd say they're the best RMO unit in the country.
Yeah, not biased, guys.
Yeah, I'm not
biased.
Yeah.
it's a very open department to working alongside you, and they're very accommodating with things like leave when you need leave, sick leave as well. And it's quite easy to match up your leaves as well. So if you did decide to come with a partner, it's been really easy for myself and my partner to get the same leave, and as well as the same time on in different runs. So one of us is in med and one of us is in surge, but we have the same weekends on, which means we have the same time off as well.
I've just found out recently that the RMO unit do that automatically. You don't even have to ask them. They know you're a partnership. So unless you specifically asked to work different weekends to your partner.
Yeah, which may we were pleasantly surprised.
It gets stressful, it's fine. How was orientation week?
Oh yeah, we can skip a bit there.
Oh, sorry.
Orientation week was really, really good. It was an important week for us to get to know the other PGY ones. So there's about 13 of us this year. 13? Yeah. So we all essentially hung out as a group for the week, and the activities that we did throughout it brought us closer quite quickly, which was quite important for our connections that we needed in our runs. But also the best thing about orientation is the buddy shift that you do on Fridays. So you link up with the house officer that's on the team that you're about to go on to your very first job, which is very exciting. And they kind of show you what a day in the life of that particular job is like, and how to navigate things, and that was really good.
Yeah, I think we all got fish and chips by the beach by the end of our first week, and we just kind of hung out outside because we realised pretty quickly that we'd all be relying on each other throughout the year. And I think it's a great team, and I think it's hard to be an overbearing person in Taranaki because it's so calm here, and there are so many things that promote peace. So when you are having a stressful day, often when you go back home or when you go, it's very easy to find somewhere to bring back the peace, whether it's walking along the moana, or I'm not sure how fit everybody is, but climbing the maunga. I have not yet. One day. But yeah, orientation was great. We did the pool footy as well onto the marae, and that gave us a bit of history about the regions here with Ngāti Runui, and we also just got to have exposure to MedChart, and just getting an idea of how the hospital. I was here as a student in my last year, and I found that really beneficial. But I also found that those who were starting in Taranaki for the first time in PGY1 didn't take very long to catch up pretty quickly, and then we
always matched you, so it wasn't two people who didn't know the system working together. So we tried to have each team would have.
Just the background, just keeping us protected. And what is the support and pastoral care like? We touch up on that. Yeah, a typical day.
Oh gosh,
depends if you're in medical or surgical. Do you want to talk for medical and I can do surgical?
So we are both rostered onto the same runs this year as in Tumanako and I. So we started off in medicine and now we're in surgery. And we've also both done our first sets of nights, and we've done quite a few weekends now. So we've probably got a good overview of what it's like to be a PGY1. But in medicine, essentially, there's 6 teams, and every day you meet up in handover, and you have your patient list, and essentially a lot of it, as you guys might know from your TI runs, is rounding, and then after rounding you tend to the jobs on the ward. Here it's quite nice because you have the opportunity to do really cool things as well. So like some of us got the opportunity to be guided through putting a chest drain in and doing bone marrows and acidic taps. Yeah, acidic taps, because Tumanako was on the gastro team and I was on the renal team, so I was a part of the surgical side of things as well, just with PD and hemodialysis catheters and things like that as well. So the variety that you get here is quite broad, not only on the clinical side of things, but on the technical and skill side of things as well, which we really appreciate. And then the long days are kind of a continuation of that, but instead of having your team with you, They're slightly more off-site. The registrars and ED admitting patients, and the consultant is available through the phone. And so you're the person that's manning the medical ward and looking after the medical patients and tending to the people that are either unwell or needing support in other ways.
I think you get really good at PGY1. Well, I think your priority in PGY1 is learning how to prioritise which jobs need to do, which jobs will go first during the day, and then which jobs are most important during the longer days. And then on night, it's just which is the most urgent that will, for patients who cannot wait until the morning. On surgery, we started a little earlier, handovers at 7:30 as opposed to 8 o'clock. But you tend to come in around 7, and your rostered time to finish is 4, and it varies depending on your team. It depends if you're post-take or not, so whether or not your consultant has taken on new patients throughout the day, which means the following day you're round on all of your patients. There's 3 main surgical teams, and then you also have your orthopedic teams and your ENT, urology and vascular. But within the general surgery teams, there's 3 of them. And each team will have 2 to 3 consultants, and then you will have your regs. So you have 2 regs, and then you have 2 house officers, which is really nice because a lot of surgery during the day, your registrars are in theatre, so you'll tend to be independently managing the wards with your offsider, which is very helpful that you have an offsider. And some days are busy, it goes without saying that you'll have days where you don't get home till a little later. Like today's probably the busiest surgical day we've had, but we'll weave it, it's fine. And I think people are very considerate in the team. So you'll have your colleagues and house officers who'll go around at the end of the shift and try and check that no one's going to be here to an extremely late time, and they'll try and help out. And it's all about the whānau community vibes that you promote within the day-to-day, and if people like you, then they'll probably offer to do a discharge for you no matter the time. And if they don't, then maybe do some self-reflection and then get I'm joking. And then long days on surgical, similar to medical. Your handover is, so you start at 7:30 and then your handover is at 10:30 p.m. But you don't do a long day a week in surgery. You typically do one every 2 to 3 weeks, but for medical, you'll do a long day a week. But everyone's very understanding as well, so they tend to buy you coffee the day after and get you through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Do we talk about nights? Do they want
Oh
to
yeah. Would you like? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well,
Yeah, you go for it.
So essentially nights here are split into a 4-night rota with 3 days off, or a 3-night rota with 3 days off. And essentially how it works is you start at 11 o'clock in the evening and you finish at about 8 o'clock in the morning, or if it's calm enough, you might be lucky to get away a bit earlier. And it's very similar to the evenings where you're looking after the unwell patients, and you kind of have the luxury to cherry pick the more important ones on nights as well, because at the end of the day, you're there to support both your nursing colleagues as well as the well-being of the patients to the best of your ability. But there's only one of you, so sometimes your time is quite precious. But it's also a very, very good experience, and it remains very well supported because you've still got your medical registrar who's a call away in ED, as well as your surgical registrar who's on call, who you can reach out to at any point. So it's really actually just a great time to put your skills into practice. And
how about the PAR nurses? They help.
Oh, and the PAR nurses. Oh.
They are not on shift for some reason. It is a difficult time. But PAR nurses are incredible. That's the patient at risk nurses who will come and see patients who are high acuity, and for whatever reason you're unable to make it, you might be at a trauma call, and they help with IV lines and taking bloods. And I found out recently it's not actually in their job description to do that. It's actually them just supporting us as part of the team, which is, I think, a huge testament to how great our PAR nurses are. So yes, PAR nurses are great. And I think the biggest advice I could tell someone starting in PGY1, particularly in Taranaki, is having that space outside of work be really protected and making sure that your whare tapa as you would say, is kind of all in check. So doing things that keeps your health at health at ease, making sure your social cup is filled, and it might not just be your work colleagues, it could also be whānau. So whether that's scheduling whānau calls, making sure that your home is somewhere that you want to go back to, and that really helps being in a place that doesn't have traffic like Auckland and has beautiful. Yeah, I just keep talking about the Moana because I go there every weekend to walk along the coast, and I just think there's so much to do. The library's cool, the museum's free, and there's lots of kai places. We have great kai here.
Yeah,
Everything's cool.
yeah, we really do.
Lasagna's great.
As you guys can tell, we really love it here.
We will not be leaving anytime soon. unless we get kicked out.
No.
Even no drives required.
No.
It's literally the busiest day I've had.
No, for whoever joins us next year, you'll definitely see the two of us around. And
Yes.
to be fair, you'll be seeing all of the PGY ones around next year. So.
We even have it that your consultants can't contact you outside of work hours. So someone can't ring you at 9 at night and go, oh, by the way,
yes.
when you get in tomorrow, like that's not allowed. Because we want our interns to have space away from work.
Yeah, and we really
Yeah.
do. We really do. When
Yeah.
we're home, we're genuinely home. So yeah, it's amazing.
And we have pages, so people only have a 3-digit number to your name, and operators can't give out your mobile. And they'll just page you, and it's quite handy to just have that privacy and ability to split, even if you do just live across the road like myself. It is fine.
Great, thank you so much. That I thoroughly enjoyed that, and you can just hear the happiness in your voices as you speak. So that was really great. Thank you. The first question that has come through is, I see on the PGY2 options you had 6-month placements in the ONG and ED. Is there a similar 6-month placement available for pediatrics?
Technically, yes, but the pediatric department is so popular that there's so many applicants that they usually just take PGY3s. And yeah, I mean, I can think of one person in the last 10 years that did it as a PGY2. But having said that, you're very likely to get that run in PGY3. And I think it speaks to how good it is that it's so hard to get in.
Yeah.
Is it still that hard?
Yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
to be fair, there's a lot of expectations that comes with it as well, because you're doing nights on peds, and it's a whole learning process in itself. So yeah, that helps to have a bit
Yeah.
of ED time or
And the newborn
ONG
unit
time.
goes down to 28 weeks. So there's quite a, consultants will come in and help you when you start, but it's perhaps a little bit more hands-on.
You still get exposure to peds though. It just depends on the team. Like if you're an ED, then you'll see a lot of pediatrics, and if you're on general surgery, you tend to see a lot of the pediatric surgical cases. But outside of that, it's often having that experience tends to help a lot, especially when you're the only one on the ward looking after very tiny babies.
Yeah. Speaking of babies, we have about one intern a year that has babies, and we support that. Through quite a good process in terms of people that want to start a family when they arrive. We've done that quite well. I've started my own family, but in terms of other interns, we had a few interns come through and start families and get through their PGY 1-2 over a 3-year period or something like that.
So the next question was, hi there, do you routinely have 4th, 5th years on placement in the hospital, or is it just TIs?
5th years, and they're looking at expanding into 4th years. But at the moment, there's not a 4th year supervisor. And Taryn probably knows more about this than anyone else, because she oversees interns and medical students.
Yeah, so we just have 5th and 6th year students here. I think we have about 18 6th years and 15 5th years. And yeah, potentially next year or the year after, they're looking at 4th years, getting enough trainers.
I'll ask one more question about parking facilities and if there is a space for bikes.
I think there's space. There's a bike cage, isn't there?
There's a few.
Yeah, there's some stairs at the bottom of the clinical area where you can park a bicycle. Parking's not as great as it used to be. Do you guys sneak into the staff car park area behind the barriers? Or?
I walk.
Yeah.
And I use the public parking.
There is parking along the street, along all streets.
Yeah, that parking,
Yeah.
the street one.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
There's
It's
no
pretty close.
There's no paid parking. Like no one has to pay for a park.
I think if you're working nights too, you qualify for the night staff parking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get a little a little sticker on
Yeah.
thing for your car as well. I need to find that.
Yeah, you can get security to walk you back and forth to cover.
Mm.
I don't think we've ever had anyone attacked in the car park.
No, not
But
me.
it's really safe.
What is public transport like for commuting to the hospital? So I guess it follows on from our conversation.
Most people either live quite close, like Tumanako, and walk, or we bike or carpool. The carpooling option is quite a common and well-used one, just because most people flat in like little groups of 4.
There's carpooling parking as well. That's
Yeah.
located right by the Lind Street entry.
But in terms of like buses, I feel like it's more aimed at buses, which we don't.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if I'm honest. Do you?
Lots of buses stop outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the city has just done this really weird cycle lane project.
Yeah.
So there's lots of space for cyclists on the
Yeah.
road, which is very controversial. But yeah, and I think there is a reasonable amount of buses that go around the city. And the city is sort of trying to get more and more people on buses.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's mostly, I would say, majority carpooling. but-
Yeah, a lot of bikers here. A lot of doctors like to bike. I just noticed it. Yeah, it's insane, I think.
So I just want to make mention to our participants, if you did not have the opportunity or you might think about a question after the session ends, please don't hesitate to contact our RMO unit directly. If it's anything with regards to the ACE process as such, you're more than welcome to contact me. My details are all available on the ACE RMO website, and the employer information and contact details are also available on the ACE RMO website. Just a reminder that you can share with your colleagues that the session today will be uploaded to our ACE RMO YouTube channel. So if they weren't able to join today's live session, they can always head back to our YouTube channel and have a watch there. And on that note, I just wanted to say another thank you for your time today and for joining. I'm going to hand back over to close us off with a karakia.
Ni karakia tātou. Unigia ki te rutapu nui, kia wātea kia māma, te ngā kau te tinana, te wairoi ki ara tangata. Koia rai rongo whakairi ake ki runga kia tīna. Haumieri tai ki e.
Yeah, thank you so much again. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
You like, guys?
Bye.